Hello, welcome to your pick a card reading. This pick a card reading is going to be for what's next in your life in terms of love. What are you going to be experiencing in the next just coming of days, even week and a half? And always take what resonates. Time for my readings don't really play out like too crazy. Things can play out for a couple days or things can play out for a couple months when it comes to these readings. And I thought I would go and do an extra little thing here and actually put rocks on the different tarot decks, and then actually pull a card for each one live here. I find that's just easier sometimes, and it's also nice to kind of see what comes out live while you're watching. If you are already getting something intuitive right now, I am going to just ask you to, meditate on the rocks a little bit more while I do my little intro. Thank you all for the love on the last video. I really appreciate it. And if anyone is wanting any personal or private tarot reads, they are down in the description box below. And all of my readings are pretty much like $1 per card. So 3 cards for $3, 6 cards for $6, 9 cards for $9. And I usually get those out between 24 to 48 hours of purchase. And if I have any delays in anything, I will be sure to contact you about those things. Also, make sure to stay followed on all my social medias because I do more than just tarot if you're interested in any of my other content. I've really enjoyed getting back into these readings and getting back into what is coming next for you in the terms of love. So, the first tarot deck we have is the Crow Tarot, and this is fluorite. It is a very, very blue piece of fluorite. It's very pretty. I love it a lot. It is one of my favorite just crystals in general. This one's very pretty in my opinion. I've fallen in love with this one specifically a bunch. And the big part about fluorite, it is very cleansing. No matter what side of the fluorite spectrum you're on per se. So when we get into blue fluorite is actually a lot better for throat chakra and communication things and clearing out a lot of that, and also just mental focus. Like the big thing that people get fluorite for is just focus. A lot of us ADHD spiritualists out there really, really appreciate the properties of this rock, and it can be very helpful in just clearing out anything that doesn't offer clear communication. It really ensures clear communication of your ideas, your thoughts, and just how you want to genuinely actually focus on the quote unquote topic at hand. The next stone we have is with the Ethereal Visions Tarot. This is called Red Phantom Quartz, and this was actually gifted to me one birthday by my older brother, who he knows I'm into all of the spiritual things. He finds some of the sciencey things interesting. He's a big nerd, so I can get him to talk about a lot of just like all of the things that have combined spirituality and science. But he's the one who got me this, and I was just very happy that he got me such a cool rock. I think this reflects how cool the earth can be, just in my opinion. Being able to see an actual crystal formation form inside of another crystal formation is not necessarily rare for this particular kind of quartz, but it's rare to see just in our lifetime sometimes. So one thing about Red Phantom Quartz that's really, really cool is that the parts that are making it red is hematite and iron. So if you already know hematite and iron or have those kinds of rocks and stones laying around, you may have been leaning towards this rock because there's already a good chunk of what you have probably been familiar with working with in this rock. And while it offers the same clear amplification of really just one's ideas, one's manifestations, the quartz is the amplifier, but what does the red phantom part do? Well, this is actually helping release stress. It helps with so much emotional healing that it's almost hard to explain, because I feel like when you get into things like iron and hematite, uh, those are the big, heavy grounding stones. So when we talk about emotional healing, it's like so much so that it's actually pulling out like these, almost want to say like rotten weeds, or these roots that have dug too deep, that aren't meant for you, that don't serve you. It really helps kind of pull those things out and amplify really not only what is good, but what is good to you, and what is going to make you essentially feel good is really the big like lesson I've learned with this stone. It's been helpful to just help with so many different kinds of emotional healing, whether it comes to self-esteem, courage, healing anger, hurt, and just releasing any bit of your, I want to say, like past sort of things. Because when it comes to love, you do need to find a way to live for yourself sometimes, if you are moving on from something, or if you're just trying to get yourself out there again. Moving on to the manga tarot with this awesome rock formation slash just like cut here. This is iolite. Iolite, in my opinion, has been the stone, the rock, the gemstone, the crystal, whatever you may want to call it, that has kept me being myself. The truest form of your identity will show when you work with this stone. And if you feel as if you are trying to find that true self, trying to connect to that inner part of you, the iolite is something that is going to illuminate this through, whether it be any sort of spiritual practice you do, any synchronicities you may see, and just a lot of inner wisdom and like inner journeying that you do. Your true real self will start to show, but a lot of the times it has to go through healing a lot of old wounds in order to really gracefully see yourself for who you really are. So these stones have their own energy, and I'm going to let you sit with them while I shuffle a card for each one. We're going to swap up the oracle decks every time that we do a pick a card reading. So let's start with the Sacred Geometry Oracle, shall we? Let's get one card for the Pile 1 Fluorite group. Let's take it off the top here. Oh my gosh. You got the tetrahedron, which that upright is very symbolic towards not only enlightenment, but really embodying and being enlightened about your true self, your true feelings. And I'm really curious to see what this could mean for love for you guys. So I know how much you guys love love readings. I can't say I blame you. No matter what your situation is, whether you're single, in a relationship, or just talking to people, whatever it may be. Hello. For the Red Phantom Pile 2 group, you got the Steam Cave. Very intriguing there. And it has a lot of Merkaba imagery and geometry in there as well. Alright, let's get the last one. For the manga tarot and for iolite, we have the Flower of Life. Wow. This is really cool in my opinion. I think these are great cards. And, ooh, just for everyone as a collective, the bottom of the deck is the lesson. So don't ever forget any lessons you have learned or are willing to learn to get through this next few times, because like these next few days, just time periods, I want to say, because I think there's something very nagging at a lot of you, and I really am going to leave you with this nice soft music you've probably been hearing through my microphone maybe, but if not, that's okay. Let's get you to meditate with these. Take all the time you need. If you need to pause and play your own meditation music for a while, I will only be playing it for about 60 seconds. So thank you and enjoy. All right, pile one, you chose the tetrahedron and the fluorite here. Fluorite is very, very good for mental focus. So sometimes when we're so scatterbrained with everything that's going on in our lives, we kind of forget what's truly important, and especially when it comes to love, because there's so many things that people in our life, in our just social medias, that probably say a lot of different things about love, and we just want to hear it plain and simple sometimes. So, the tetrahedron definitely keeps things plain and simple when it talks about action. I understand this shape specifically because it is really about like action, and how the triangle, when it's upright this way, is actually also a symbol of fire, the elemental symbol for fire, and the reverse of this triangle is also for water. Now, when we think about fire energy, we also delve into divine masculine energy. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I'm hiccuping a bit. We talk about the divine masculine. Divine masculine isn't necessarily the person that we could be talking about, or your person. Divine masculine is energy that we all have within us. If you understand this, go ahead and listen to me yap, because for anyone who doesn't understand divine masculine, think of yin and yang. Yin energy is divine feminine energy. Yang is divine masculine. And the easiest way I can put it is, okay, my divine feminine has the idea to manifest some energy. My divine masculine energy is going to put action out into the real world and quote unquote manifest some energy with this coffee here. And if you are someone like me who loves to use different little simple spiritual hacks in my life, the coffee is inherently grounding, so that just has double kind of thing there. All right, let's get into the reading itself. I think we're gonna do is maybe just pull 6 cards straight. I may be doing different like styles of spreads for each pile, but I'm just gonna try and like kind of find my way, see what feels right. But what do you need to know, pile 1? What do you need to know in the terms of what is coming next for you in love? What do you need to know for your highest good? What's coming next for my pile 1s here? Oh, either someone's passionate or you're passionate. I almost forgot to read this card from the book, but I don't even think I need to at this point. I'm just gonna say things that I have repeated. One thing I probably will note that the book does say, if we're gonna get to tetrahedron, yes, now is the time to take action and initiate movement that will activate ideas and complete creative projects. If you're already actively engaged in this process, this card affirms your decision to act and support the focus and passion that directs you upon this path. Simply remember to listen to your inner guidance and ensure that this action is not merely mere smoke and flames, but intentional movement towards your highest good. And I think that's the big thing that I just needed to say for you guys. King of Wands, Ace of Swords, and Seven of Wands. Oh, you are done beaten to the following the beat of someone else's drum kind of a thing. Ooh. I do understand why you feel very hesitant though. With the Two of Swords on the bottom of the deck there, I just saw. King of Wands is definitely you being very, like, more open and passionate, and even in this way that's, like, whatever you are actively, like, working on, whether it's, like, passion projects or you're a creative person and you just do a bunch of different sort of art mediums, or let's just say you're working towards something, like you have a goal in mind that you are definitely currently working on that is essentially semi-career building, it feels for you. It's definitely something you want to do. I don't know if people would call it a career exactly, but it's something that makes you you. And whatever you are following with this has been truly helpful in bringing yourself out to the forefront, bringing yourself out for people to see, for people to get to know and even explore. And that's a big thing for you, because part of you feels like you're giving yourself a bit of a risk, or taking a risk doing this, and the risk you're taking is not being fearful anymore, not being fearful of other people's opinions, judgments, or even, like, I want to say, their sort of social standards, and really exploring all of this in a way that's like, what's for me, what works for me. And that's where the indecision kind of comes in, but it leaves just as soon as it comes in, because part of you is like, oh, I'm so confused. And then you sit there and be like, all right, let me just do this, because it's the first thing that comes to your mind. And that is what we like to call intuition, baby. That's the Ace of Swords working right there. The very intuitive, sure mindset of, I'm moving forward with this. And you don't have anything that's convincing you otherwise to go backward. You're just in a very open mind about what to even do, where to go, how to even, like, handle this whole thing at the end of the day. Because I feel like part of you truly feels like you can get past all of this, that you can really push forward into this, I want to say, for anyone who's single, like, push forward into actually finally meeting that someone special, finally meeting someone that actually gives you the time of day for X, Y, and Z, and isn't afraid of you being yourself. Like, there's a big ask to just really fully 100% be yourself. How can someone that you want to love you, how can someone love you for 100% you if you don't be 100% your authentic self? Even if part of your authentic self is like, hey, I need to rest right now. I need to take a rest. I got a lot of ideas and it's burning me out. Your divine masculine and feminine are working together, and it's going to put a divine masculine type person, doesn't have to be male or female, whatever you choose to be, whatever you identify as, but there is definitely a more masculine action goer, like, person, and a very, like, divine feminine person that's very much the idea person here, and it's just such burnt out on ideas. I feel like most of the people watching this pile are gonna be the divine feminine, not necessarily masking your emotions, but it's like getting so burnt out that you feel like sometimes you have to mask them, but then you remember, oh gosh, I should, like, it's this, I'm overworking myself, I should take better care of myself, whatever it may be. I think there's a part to this Queen of Wands that's a little double meaning. It's you and this other person that could be involved, because there's a shyness, a hesitancy, and this is like a, can we do this in a very moderate way? Is there a moderation that could be essentially thought of and worked out here? Because the Queen of Wands, energy wise, like just that card is always the mysterious idea person to me. They are always having ideas, you don't know where they come from, but you know that they're almost done with the project, and that's the Queen of Wands. And listen, that brain and those ideas and projects be getting like started and finished and complete and thought of new ones like super fast. And it's so hard sometimes for a Queen of Wands person, and just uh when we have the energy of the Queen of Wands, it's hard to sit down. It's hard to find your footing sometimes. I think someone is asking you even to find their footing, like with them, like for help even. But it's not in like, they're not asking for it right out the bat. They are probably just stating, hey, this is what's going on in my life, and I can't really explain how I can't ask for help, but I'm trying to ask for help through asking, hey, what do you think I like, what would you do? Or the simple like cliche, oh, I'm just asking for a friend, just to get yourself to laugh a little bit. But I think you have this idea of either you wanting to ask for help or somebody wanting to ask for help, but not really sure how to exactly place that in the words of I need help. Because it's not like you're super struggling with something. It's like something you know you can get past, but the fact that this is such uncertainty, there's so much mystery to what can happen at the end of this, you don't know other than to do. You don't know other than to commit to action here. And I think that's the big thing that the Queen of Wands energy is really latching on and passionate towards you, because you have this energy of you know what to do, you know what you're doing, and you're very, very sure about how you feel with what you're doing. Like, it's not just a, oh, I'm gonna do it because it gets me this material thing or this material whatever, or it gets me this, that, and the other. There's something that you do because it's worth growing, and the Queen of Wands energy, this other person can see that, and it's like it oozes off of you, and they just want a little crumb of it sometimes. So even just hanging around you, feeling this intuitive, powerful energy to grow in this time that is so just, everything feels not okay in this time of just, I feel like the Five of Pentacles is something every person, especially in fucking America, is feeling right now. You're feeling at a loss. Like, can anything really be possible? Or when it comes to love, the dating culture is kind of just all over the place. It's totally probably like 10 times worse than it was when uh Gen X and boomers were kids, obviously, especially even some millennials. But the fact that online dating has ruined things in the sense of a lot of people on dating apps are going to look for a quick fix. And it's very hard for people to find the person that they want to be with for the rest of their life through online dating sites, unless you are like a lot older. And I have a feeling just when people are this may not be true, but I have a feeling when people are older, like my dad, his the love of his life, that was also my stepmom, passed due to cancer. It was in 2019, so thank you for anyone just saying sorry for your loss in their head right now. Thank you, I appreciate that. The point I'm bringing up here is the fact that my dad went to online dating. He wanted to have a friend. He is not marrying this person. He said that he already married the love of his life, and he met someone that had that same mentality. She already married the love of her life. They were very alone. And humans are social creatures. It's why we want to have like these relationships, especially at like such a young age, when we first start liking other humans and they're like, ooh, you got a crush on that person, you know? we're very social creatures, so it's nothing wrong to like want to seek that. And the other point to this is the fact that I feel like when people are older, it's a little, to some people, easier to find people. So I'm mainly speaking of dating culture for online dating for the younger generation, but that could literally mean like, I want to say late 30s and younger. Mainly because people who are in their 30s are millennials who went through the same sort of cringy dating apps that we all kind of went through. But I'm not going to deny that some older people who aren't really familiar with social media and technology, there are scammers out there. I'm not going to deny that. I'm just going to cover that so no one can yell at me in the comments later about but this, but that. I know. I'm also just kind of speaking from what I believe is, I think, um, the one thing that is very more prevalent in the younger generation and online dating is the fact that everyone's probably looking for a quick fix, a quick solution to their problem. Whether they just want to hook up, they just want a relationship, they want something serious, they want a fix to a problem that they currently have. And this fix is something that is just inherently the culture of dating sometimes. As a woman myself, I have heard a lot of the rhetoric of when certain men start saying that, oh, all women are bad, they don't want me because of this, and a lot of people are catching up to the fact that, like, no, it's you sorry, it's you that has to change. I'm fucking stuttering here. It's the person that is saying, oh, everything is bad, that's the person that has to change. And I think this is something that has not necessarily come around full circle in your mind, like you were the one to say all women were bad. I don't think you said that. That's besides the point. I think that concept of the whole online dating spectrum, dating culture is bad. And it may be bad. It may be rough, but it doesn't mean that you're just going to be left out and just collecting dust on some dating shelf out there for like the rest of your days until you die. That is not what you're feeling entirely. So while all of this shit's going around, and a lot of us are still very much trying to just pay our bills and get by, you feel like part of you is, oh, is this even a good time to look for love? Fuck yes, it is. Everyone's truths are coming out. And if you are being more and more authentic to yourself, who's to say that someone won't come along, see that authentic you, and say, give me that. I want that. I want to hang out with that. I want to be with that. And I want to just live with that person for the rest of my days. And that's the key. And it sucks to always say that the best time to find somebody is when you're not looking, because that's when we're our true selves. So anytime you may feel like you're getting yourself caught up in what you want, I want you to remember how it feels to just be yourself, and how it feels to know that someone can see that and literally get down with it and be like cool with you being your whole authentic self. Even if it's just for like 30 seconds, they may see that and it may strike up a conversation. Three of Cups. You may feel more connected to the joy of connection than worrying about, oh, whether is this person going to be good for me? Is that person going to be good for me? Is this, that, all those swords. And that's not what you need. That's not what you want. And I think you know it. You are coming to a clearer and clearer understanding of what you want out of just the relationship, a relationship, and relationships entirely. Because something about this is just how you love. This has really like transcended just like talking about like two separate parties, because I think this is also two separate parts of you integrating and becoming whole. We have the King and Queen of Wands out here, which is very reminiscent of, hey, yeah, you do got a person that is very compatible with you, but it's this energy of like you have to break past the shyness a little bit, give yourself time to relax, and if that person needs to relax, make space for them to relax, whether it's actually like leaving them the fuck alone or creating a safe space for them to relax. Whether you just want to be like, hey, like, let's go and get our favorite snacks, and let's just be girly here for a second. Let's just say this is a masculine, a male, talking to a female, and the male being like, let's go get your favorite snacks, get your favorite coffee, like, get your favorite treats, and then we'll do face masks together or something like that. And not even having to do it together, but like giving this person a sense of actual relaxation has just tremendous like benefits and just ripple effects across the relationship. And I think you can feel it because I think part of you has been trying your best to kind of help this person, and you know that they're not fully asking for help. And I think you needed the confirmation here to be like, yes, they're not fully asking for help, because part of a lot of people's stress right now is the state of the world, is the state of a lot of economics and countries around the world. Everything that's happening, there's really no place, unless you are not connected to the internet at all and you are just off grid, there is no place that people are genuinely like okay and not stressed about the world. If you're constantly trying to keep up to date with it so you can keep up to date with a bunch of stuff. I'm filming this directly after the whole Midwest tornadoes storms that just happened, that people realized they didn't get the tornado warning until the tornado was already on top of them. Or, for some worse cases, they didn't get a tornado warning until 30 or 40 minutes after the tornado had already touched down. This was in multiple places in multiple states, and it's definitely due to Trump firing a lot of like federal employees, because a lot of the National Weather Service employees got fired. And when you don't have people manning the stations to keep out for national weather things, this is essentially what happens. And it sucks to literally sit here and acknowledge, accept, and live with this Five Pentacles feeling of, we feel like we're such at a loss, at a lack of pretty much almost every like basic necessity for some people, and just at a loss for even words and action. And I think that's a big thing why someone's not telling you how they feel, because they've accepted that this is the way the world is. Whether they're fighting for it or not, everyone's just trying to fight for their will to keep moving on at most points. And to not really talk about that, but also see, hey, I want to make you feel better, is going to provide so much clear communication. And I mean clear communication. So if you are someone who actually wants to get into more of the rocks and stuff, I think the fluorite is going to help you tremendously. If I'm gonna talk in that orange man's voice, it's tremendous. It's tremendous. Why does he always say that? My dad started making fun of him, and now I can't help but hear my dad's voice mocking him, being like, it's tremendous. And my dad always does this, and I just... we need the giggle. We gotta laugh, or we're gonna start scrapping with the orange man. I gotta make some of y'all laugh too. But I'm gonna say that's all I have for you. Thank you for listening, and thank you for believing in yourself for listening to this whole thing, because I believe in you in order to help whatever side of the love spectrum we're on talking about this. And other than that, if you need any more personal private readings, it's in the description below, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye. Alright, pile 2, you chose the Red Phantom Quartz and the Steam Cave. This is a very, very interesting card, and it has a lot to do with transmutation, in my opinion. There's a lot that goes on to this card, so I will read the book, but Red Phantom Quartz, like we were saying before, helps a lot with emotional healing. So I feel like this is going to get into a lot of just what you need to do to feel okay in love again. But this is also going to be this like, okay, what do I need to do to feel like I can be loved again and that I can love? Because that's also sometimes two very different things. Let's get into what the Steam Cave has to offer in its knowledge. Number 45. The Steam Cave, Elemental Forces. This card speaks of connecting with elemental forces. The geometry here is of triangles and star tetrahedrons. The illustration, it was inspired by a hot springs steam cave in which the bather sits in medicinal waters inside the earth and listens to the pulse of the planet as the springs ebb and flow and gurgle. There is a womb-like feeling within this cave in the earth, where the fire heats water into steam. You know how this feels deep in your bones, though you may never have experienced it. Coming from a primal place in our cellular memory, this feeling holds the power of the elements and speaks directly to the relationship all humans have with those elements, with the Mother Earth. Many traditions call in the elements as they begin sacred ceremony. In doing so, a deeper connection is established between the material world and the world of spirit. This card reminds you to honor your relationship to the earth and elemental forces and to ground yourself in the knowing that wherever you go, you are always home. Try constructing an elemental altar or placing photographs or art representing the elements somewhere you will see them regularly. Find a way to honor the earth and her elemental forces in whatever way feels appropriate to you. Now, when we talk about what's next in love in this card, this is definitely leaning towards this very all-knowing aspect I think you've been having for a while now of I need to get it together. And not in like a bad way. It's like I need to get it together so I can actually move forward. What will this mean for you? I'm curious. Okay, these are... Sometimes I put all of my decks like upright, so I just gotta make sure it's all mixed up. Okay. Working with a very shiny tarot deck today as well. Pile twos. What do they need to know in what's coming next for love, for their highest good? What do they need to know for their highest good? Hello. Oh, I think you definitely have someone that recognizes you for you, but I think this is where it's healing you. I think you didn't see this part coming, but it's also the fact that when we experience true love, I feel like you are, like, whether it's a friend, family, or like actual committed relationship, like partner for life, you not only feel 100% committed, you feel like 100% honest, 100% yourself, 100% authentic, and you couldn't ask for more. And I think that's the big thing that's going to just heal so much of these emotional wounds that you've been trying to heal, because part of you is almost connecting back to life itself in the world, literally nature, life itself, connecting back through it, through this healing. Like, this has been helping you so much that I feel like it can't go unrecognized here. Six of not cups, sorry, Six of Wands. I may have said Six of Cups earlier. Six of Wands and 10 of Pentacles. You are being recognized for not only having a stable sense of love, but having a stable sense, an authentic sense of love that has probably transcended lifetimes. But I think it's something that you've kind of had to heal, in the sense of, am I truly this stable? Like, 10 Pentacles is solid foundation, solid like success. This is pretty much dotting all of the I's you can and crossing all of the T's you can and getting the ground running on something, like actually making something worthwhile. Like, the work you put in now makes everything you do in relationships and love worthwhile, because I think you have been doing your best to reconnect not only to nature itself, but how nature can make any human being feel. And I think part of this is maybe someone's been getting you outside. Maybe you've been getting someone outside, but the recognition of love is definitely here. And I think there's a recognition of success. But don't be too hasty here, is what I'm hearing. Six of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles reversed, and Two of Pentacles here. This is giving me the idea that it's very easy for you to kind of get ahead of yourself sometimes when it comes to being excited to work on something. But also remember and remind yourself that it does take time for things to grow, but not in like a you have to like wait on everything. It's just having to take the time as time moves forward. Take every day as it comes, and every step as you take it is just like, okay, I'm moving forward in life. Because this Seven of Pentacles is giving me the idea that it's like almost like you're too excited to start harvesting the pentacles off of this pentacle plant, but the point of this pentacle plant is the fact that you kind of need to let them sit and actually like grow and cook and create its own little level of balance. Because I feel like what's happening is the universe brought two souls together, brought two energies together, and now it's doing this very universal infinite dance of not only inner wisdom, emotional healing, and healing old wounds, but it's also bringing in actual balance to the relationship. But you gotta take the time for that. That fifth one's very important because the universe works on its own fucking time sometimes. Most of all of the time, really. So when you need to give the universe time, remind yourself that you can't distract the universe's dance. You can't distract them from dancing or from working in this balance that you desperately, I feel like, really want. And I get why you want the balance maybe now, but it's also something that really needs to be worked for. And not even working to earn it, it's like working to just let it be. Sometimes things, we forget that we can literally just let life be for a second. We can let time pass. It's okay to sit in your own space and not really do anything after you've spent weeks probably working your little heart out to get all of this success over here. And I think you've gotten a lot of success and a lot of just abundance recently. So it's kind of throwing you for a loop of, oh, do I really deserve all this growth here? Do you deserve it? You're the one who kept growing. You've earned it at this point. Do you deserve it? I want to, as a joke, I was going to be like, hell the fuck no, you don't deserve it. I'm so kidding. I am totally kidding. I'm so joking. Just trying to get you to laugh. Part of you has to feel like you really deserve it too. I think part of you really sees the potential you have in your own knowledge, but you're so scared of giving yourself love that it's also cutting you off. Not only giving love, but I think you're scared of giving and receiving love. Like that action to you is scary because you know what can happen at the end of it. You know that it can sway not only your own decision, but it feels like people's decisions on your life, how you want to live it, how you want to live and breathe in this society, in this world. Literally the world card out there on the bottom of the deck. Two of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, Page of Wands is this very careful dance around your like healthy anxiety. I like to call it healthy anxiety because anxiety is somewhat needed. We wouldn't have our survival instincts or, you know, our fight for survival back in the old nomadic kind of days. We wouldn't have this anxiety if we didn't actually need it for something, you know? It helps protect us from danger. It helps really see that behavior for what it is. And even if it's something good, like, this is very much just explaining how something good can still make somebody very anxious and very fearful, but you shouldn't always think that you have to cut it off because the world is telling you all of this, all of that. No. Your daydreams aren't just daydreams. Your dreams aren't just this mystical, mythical thing that's going to happen only in your dreams. You have a clear sight of what you really want from the world, out of the world, and from this relationship and this love that is coming towards you. But what is next is for you to really, really tell yourself, hey, what can't we get past? What is the one thing that we say we can't get past this, but we're going to now have to get past it in order to let our growth continue? And my favorite line I read from a book recently that is like a common thing that I've heard people say, but I was reminded of it yesterday. Uh, a plant just doesn't stop growing and say, yep, nope, I've grown to my fullest extent and that's it. A plant is just going to keep on growing until its life cycle is completely up. Even there are like super, super old plants because they take like, what, 50 years, almost 20 years to like grow into their full maturity. And it's almost like this energy of understanding that, oh yeah, well they still have they'll grow and do this and then die. Well, yeah, that's their life cycle. A lot of plants don't just stop growing. They don't stop growing in the middle of their life cycle is really what I'm trying to point out. They continue to grow and continue to strive forward. Even if there isn't much sun, they're going to try and find those little bits of sun, find those little bits of water within the soil. And I think you need to find those little bits of water for yourself. I think part of you is a little bit dried out from a lot of what you've been feeling and experiencing because something's so good that I feel like you need to feel that level of groundedness again. We have one card that's all about stability, but then another that's upright that is all about just dancing this very fluid and intuitive and ethereal like dance that is very airy and watery and not really grounded. And that is okay, but you have to give yourself time in the biggest sense of, I don't know what's happening right now, but I know that if I continue and just trust in the process, you know, you will find out how to give and receive love in this truest form that really you just want to be yourself here. I think you have a lot of knowledge, but it's the experience that is really tripping you up because you have experienced world from a complete upside down perspective. And now someone's asking you to turn that upside, just pretty much turn it upright again. And the fact that you're being asked that is, oh my god, someone's recognizing like that I really know how to love here. Oh my god, wait, have we been healing from things from the past? I guess we've been really good at balancing this stuff. I don't know. Why can't I receive love and not feel bad about it? You know, how can I get past this whole like is what I feel like you've been, there's just these words of how can I get past it? How can I get past it? You can get past it by actually getting to be in that energy and sit with it and communicate with it and get to know this part of you, because you've been so authentic for so long that now these small little, not cracks are showing, but it's just like these small little moments that are these little things in your heart that aren't for you, that just really aren't for you. They don't like give and receive love for you. They give and they just take and take is what it feels like, some of the things in your mind that you've been healing from, but you've been really deeply healing, deeply integrating a lot of release, deeply integrated releasing here. And I say deeply integrated because it's stuff that's like to your core. It is just so wholeheartedly you that like you, this person has nothing but their wand here at the end of the day, and that's their wholehearted self, that's their wholehearted, you know, true idea of the self and how you want to commit to relationships and commit to love. And I think the biggest thing is, how come you haven't cared for yourself as much as you care for external things and external people and places and situations? and really getting to the bottom of it, not just giving me and yourself that half-wit answer to make yourself laugh, or oh well, I can't get past it because I'm just this, I'm just that, I'm just lazy. I don't think you are. I think you're hurt. And I think hurt can lay very deep in our hearts. And I think hurt and pain can lay so far deep that we think we've gotten over that small thing. We think that we've dealt with that, but just like any sort of grief, that shit stays with you. And I think really needing to clearly get this message across and clearly get into your head that you can still love while you're healing. You can still give and receive love while you're healing. You can still be loved while you're healing. No one's supposed to be perfect when they get into a relationship. And I think that's the new idea that you're really trying to move forward with. But you got a lot of knowledge and not a lot of experience in that. And that's not something to be afraid of. I think that's something to take in admiration, that you're willing to follow the beat of your own heart. The beat of your own collective drum here, of something that isn't just material value. There's a lot of pentacles here in between two fire energies, a lot of earth energy. And when we talk about pentacles in tarot, these are very much materialistic things sometimes, or things that are material that we hold value in. Even like our job, you know, there's materials that you use for whatever work you do, and that is sort of the thing that keeps you and your family alive. When you get the paycheck, you get to pay the bills and pay for groceries, all that fun stuff, right? So fun, adulting, yay, woo. But these pentacles hold such immaterial value right now. And that is true with the pentacles, is the other side of the immaterial, the non-tangible things that we hold value towards, like love. How can you prove that you love somebody without actions or words? You know, like these very non-tangible things, you know, and action isn't something that you can always like go out and touch and reach. And action is what it is an action. Words aren't really something you can really touch or reach with your hands unless you actually write them down on a piece of paper, which involves action. And it's an immaterial aspect of this love that has transcended your belief beyond what I think you could have comprehended, because this is something I think you're just like, I can't get past it, I can't get past it. But you can. You have, you will, and you might just look back on it as like, damn, I really was hurting, but I'm so glad I went through that in order to get to this understanding of yourself, your true authentic self, to the core. And everything you have in between the two fire energies here is something that is completely changing your perspective on the world. So do not think that this is something of a daydream. Do not think that you just can't get past this stuff. You can. I believe it. I believe that you will also still be the same person in the end. And if part of you is scared that you're not going to be the same person, well, then that's just not for you. You don't change. You still stay the you that you have always been. You just have a little bit more understanding of yourself and the world around you, and your understanding of how you truly want to pursue love. What's coming next is not only just love, but a lot of healing in this, and a lot of healing in the fact that you can still be loved even when you're healing. Even when you feel like everything's against you and the world's upside down and nothing makes sense, you can still be loved. And you can still give love. You still have the capacity to give love, because part of you has loved a lot of the things that you've been working on in the past. That thing that gives you drive and fire and passion, you've been very successful. I can't really say exactly in what, but it's just something out of success that is so true to your core that you cannot shake, and it's not going to change you to receive the love that you actually deserve. It's not going to change you. I think if you feel like it's going to change you, it's because you're cutting something short a little too soon here. Let things simmer, let things grow, let time take hold onto the things that you can't get past, because time will allow so much healing to really play out. And it is in its own intuitive time, because sometimes we can heal things and we have this huge big enlightenment, this huge big realization, and we're able to heal that in like 3 days time. Sometimes these are very slow realizations that can happen, that take 3 weeks to learn. But it's at your own pace. It's at the pace that you are comfortable with, and the pace that actually is providing this giving and receiving energy of pure inner wisdom, pure like wisdom and courage and emotional awareness and emotional strength at the end of the day, and a lot of just general like inner wisdom knowledge from your higher self or highest self or whatever you want to believe in. That is, I feel like, the key thing here, because how you treat yourself is how you're going to treat someone you love, whether you're in a relationship or not. And I think this is the big thing, that whether you are like looking for X, Y, and Z, it doesn't matter. It's how you choose to give and receive this love is what's going to help you or hurt you. Because part of you is like, I don't really know what to do. But don't tell yourself the lie that other negative people want you to believe. Oh, they can't get past that. They can't get past this. Pile 2 can't get past blah, 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 blah. They're just this. They're just that. If that's what they want to believe, that's what they want to believe. You're going to move forward. Because that's all you can do right now. And that's all that you have control over. And I think that's the big thing, is to remind yourself what you've created, the things that you have control over, even if it's just to sit there and do nothing. Sometimes a plant doesn't need to be watered. It already rained. Oh, and the weeds were already plucked, so the plant can just sit there and continue to grow. This love can continue to grow within you. I'm sorry the camera's kind of like freaking out here. I think that is all I'm going to leave you with here, because this is something that is truly, truly like so much gratitude towards the healing that you're doing, and all of the energy of this reading is just being amplified with this stone. I can't lie. Like, it's something so pure that I think if anyone can get their hands on some red phantom quartz, definitely going to help release a lot of these emotional wounds and healing these old wounds, and healing them in a way that it's like, I can still be loved, I can still be cared for, even while I'm trying to take care of myself, even while I'm trying to heal myself. You can still do that, and I implore you to please just try for yourself. You never know what's going to happen unless you try, okay? I really wholeheartedly have courage in you and believe in you, and I have confidence in you that you can really heal yourself in order to be loved again, or to just be being in love in general, whatever that may be for you. So thank you for watching. That is all I have for you, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye. Okay, pile 3. You chose the Flower of Life and Iolite. I think this is going to be a big, big message about how you need to really be yourself here. You gotta be wholeheartedly interconnected, not only interconnected with yourself, and interconnected into all of the little synchronicities that you've been seeing about being yourself and being wholeheartedly yourself. By the way, I think this little rock formation is kind of cool. It has this little part that is like, I think, so perfect to just have as like in my thumb, and I can just feel the fact that I'm just like really pointing the energy out like this. And this is very, very cool, like cut, polished, I think. I think Iolite is, I don't know if it has formations like other rocks. This could be a type of formation, but now now I got myself curious. Now I want to look this up. Let me look at, I think raw iolite is kind of just like how raw amethyst this is amethyst right here. It can either look like this, or it can look like the cool pointy like towers and stuff. Raw iolite. Oh, it is like that. Okay. Oh, they have free. Oh. Raw iolite. That is cool. So I think this one was cut and polished. Unless these are... Let me see. Freeform. No, I think sometimes they're cut and polished. I could be wrong, but I've just been curious about it because I also really like learning that some of the rocks, like, they'll just come out of the ground looking really cool, and you can also see part of the rock has like that regular raw part to it right here. I'm sure if you cleaned off some of this stuff down here and chopped into it, it'd have more of the blue in there. But what I love about iolite and how it looks is that it has like actual kind of cloudy color to it. The best way I can describe it um is like you can see the translucency of it a little bit. It's very, very small, but it's almost like seeing super cloudy quartz, and you can still kind of see the clouds in it. Guess the best way for me to describe it and explain it is like right in here. You can really see how kind of like cloudy it is, which I find very, very interesting, especially at the very, very top right here, if it will focus. Hold on. Maybe if I cover the camera up. Right there at the tip of the crystal, you can kind of see how the light kind of passes through some parts. And it's very, very shiny, so it's very reflective as well. Anyway, enough about gawking about the crystal. I do want to just talk about the rock for a moment, because iolite is something very, like, I call it, I want to say harmonic in the way it feels. It feels very like there's all these different graceful energies wanting to open up to my truest self. Oh, excuse me. And the biggest part that it helps this graceful knowing of the selves is that it assists in blending normal, like, conscious thinking with intuitive knowing. And when you intuitively know something, like, we all can say we intuitively know our own selves to our core, right? But also conscious thinking and a lot of just things that happen in our day-to-day things can make us feel like, oh, well, that we're not really being ourselves, or maybe we're overthinking that, or maybe like all that stuff. And this stone specifically offers the inner path towards the deep self, this deep intuitive self. And it also helps one let go of the belief that one needs to control inner experiences. It dissolves the fear of the unknown, or even like suppressed parts of the psyche. It also increases one's capacity to move forward into areas of old fear, teaching one that the exploration of one's wounds is the most direct path to healing. That is literally what this book says, and Iolite is also a stone of inner treasures. Okay, okay. That makes a lot of sense with that, especially with the fact that to see yourself as the treasure, you gotta stop seeing yourself as a burden. To see yourself as the gift, as the amazing person that maybe somebody wants to think that you are, and you're like, oh, but no, I'm not really that. You gotta stop seeing yourself as the burden if you want to see yourself as the treasure, or if you even want to see the treasure at all within you. We are gonna get into this reading here. Actually, I want to read that card maybe last. I just want to put it off to the side. So, because I have a feeling I know what it's going to say, but oh yes, you are truly the Empress here. But this Empress came out reversed, so you are 100% not feeling like yourself at all. And I can't say I blame you, because part of you really wants to feel like you can be yourself. But when it comes to what is next in love, I want to get a little more out here before we start discussing all of that. Getting clear with how being loved may actually feel towards you. Okay, oh, okay. Okay. We have the Fool, 8 of Cups, or 7 of Cups, and 4 of Swords on the bottom. Okay, okay. Sorry, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I'm just grabbing those random ones. The Empress, 3 of Wands reversed, and the Tower. So you have a lot of bridge building stuff happening that is shaking your whole entire worldview up. You don't understand how you can feel this happy or be this happy with somebody. You feel like you are literally falling to a metaphorical end, and yet all you can see is this person, this relationship, this love is all you can see. And it feels like something that you're actually working up towards in a weird way. Because while this tower is upright, it's essentially creating this aspect of you're going to be shaken up by how good this feels. Because you haven't been able to build a good relationship with the self, it's like the universe said, okay, well, we're going to show you how you can love yourself and heal yourself while still being loved. And how this is going to essentially shake up your whole worldview. You could be this person to somebody else. You could be trying to build a bridge and not know how to, but also just completely follow what feels right for you, what feels like it is actually for you. The tower does not come down for no reason. It comes down because things are not for us then that can support us anymore. Anything that wants to be built on this new tower has to be rebuilt from the ground up, has to have new structures, have new foundation, have new like actual like support beams set up. And like if we want to go into the support beams as a support system, that also is something that is being creatively explored. And I feel like part of the reversed energy is that this is all happening in your head. All of this is internal. This is something that I feel like if someone's asking you how you're doing, you're telling them, yeah, I'm fine, not much has been going on. But the past 3 days, you've been nonstop thinking about how can I do this, how can I do that, how can I do this. The biggest part of the Empress's lesson in the tarot is the big aspect that sometimes you have to let the seeds grow. You put them in the ground, you watered them, great. You need to let them grow. You need to let things like germinate and grow underneath that dark uncertainty part of the soil. We can't see a seed growing unless we want to like put it in a freaking petri dish or something like that. You can't just see the seed growing and then also hope that it sprouts soon, because it has to kind of break through that surface in order to actually sprout into something new, and maybe even sprout into something new again, because there's a lot of like new again vibes. And oh my god, the Emperor is showing face. I think you have someone that's truly trying to heal themselves for you. We got the Empress, the Emperor, and the Star out here, and I think it's throwing you for a loop of what to do because you're so uncertain about how to even feel. I almost wanna. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. It's so uncertain with how you feel because I think part of you is trying to be logical, trying to be like the Emperor card and be stable and being like, hey, this is what's going to last us a long time, what's really going to heal us, what's really going to help us grow. The Emperor is the big lesson of like when the Fool card goes through a journey through all of the major arcana, and it's a journey through the human experience. But when it reaches the Empress, the third card right before the Emperor, the Empress gives the Fool all of this knowledge on how to grow and nurture the self and really take care of the self, take the time to take care of the self and take care of your garden, per se. But the Emperor is looking at the Fool saying, how is all that food going to last you your whole entire trip? How will all of this actually sustain you for the time that you're going to need to be sustained for? Do you have the proper knowledge, skills, and even I want to say mental stability to just be disciplined in giving yourself this like I want to say knowledge to ration out your knowledge. That's a weird set of words is what I got. You are rationing out your knowledge though, but it's not in a way that's like it's not in a way that's like exactly for you because it's something that is so intuitive to some of our own human nature that I feel like part of you is screaming for some sense to make sense of all of this. But at the same time, while the whole entire world can seem like complete and utter nonsense, what does your heart feel? Not what you think. What do you feel? What do you feel? You feel that Three of Wands. You feel like you want to build that bridge towards that person. And listen, you gotta go after it because part of this person, I think, has been ready to work with you on just healing themselves and you just together. I think someone really wants to work with you on this, and I think you're the one that's been holding back. This Emperor seems very, very adamant on looking towards the Empress over here, and the Empress is very uncertain. And I think it's because part of you needs to heal the idea of what once was that pretty little tower in your mind, that pretty little idea that you had, is completely gone. But here in this moment is this person, is this feeling, and this person could be you. You could be talking to yourself here. This person could be you, and I feel like you really held on to how am I going to heal, how am I going to heal, how am I going to heal so I can be with this person, because part of you may feel like you don't have all your shit together to be with somebody, but that's not why people really choose to love each other. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's not why I choose to love my boyfriend. I didn't think I was perfect, but I thought that, fuck, we were perfect for each other. And it's this silly little Robin Williams line. If you haven't seen the movie Good Will Hunting, I implore you to go watch it in a decent headspace. It is a big tearjerker for literally every single human being ever. It is Matt Damon and Robin Williams having a conversation, and Matt Damon's character is interested in a girl, and he's so unsure about it because he thinks that there's just all these things wrong with him. And Robin Williams' character basically has a moment where he goes, I'm gonna tell you one thing right now, kid. You're not perfect, and I hate to break it to you as well, but this girl isn't perfect either. But hell, you two may be perfect for each other. No one's ever perfect. Fuck, the world isn't even ever perfect. Sometimes when it's perfect, it's just a perfect moment. And yes, those do exist. And yes, you can have those perfect moments with that person that's for you. And I think you've been worked up on, I need this person that can handle me. But maybe a person kind of may like those sides of you, may like, quote unquote, handling those things, handling the fact that we're not all perfect. And I think this is the huge thing that is like gonna bring me to fucking tears right now. Cause I think you've been spending so long not believing that you could find love while feeling broken. But finding love doesn't have to be when we are in our most perfect, best, prime moment of our lives. It never happens that way. I hate to break it to you, but everyone that seems like they're in the primest time to meet their true love of their life, their life partner, I'm gonna tell you right now, no, they were not in the most perfect time in their lives. Because if they were, that person in one side is not being just genuine. There's a side that's definitely being disingenuous or probably in it for the wrong reasons. And you, in your heart of hearts, do not want to be in it for disingenuine reasons. And you, I think, are also getting a little anxiety of, oh wait, I gotta be genuine, and then, but I gotta get over this, but da 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 da, and I'm not perfect. And what if we just be ourselves? What if we were ourselves? And honest in the fact that, hey, I'm not perfect, but I'm here still trying to make some good out of something that is nothing. Making turning a negative into a positive, or giving life a little bit more adventure just by hanging out with this Emperor card here. Oh my god, the Magician on the bottom of the deck. I have to like pull that out just as like something, but I want to get one extra card here for the bottom of the deck, or just oh hell yeah, we got the cards today. Alright, you guys got a little extra cards, so lucky you. True bottom of the deck energy. King of Swords. This is someone who's truly enlightened into what they want. And I think whether or not you can feel this or not, you can definitely feel like someone's quote unquote manifesting you, but manifesting the love that you have with somebody, the love that you share and can cultivate with somebody. And it doesn't even have to be a relationship or a life partner. Like, it's the love of, damn, we create a lot of good moments and a lot of good laughs and a lot of good memories with each other when we're together. That's the sure and certainty of this other energy. And this other energy is certain that no matter what you go through, hi, this is my roommate's cat. No matter what you go through, you can meow just like a cat. Oh, hi, ma'am. Come on. You can snuggle, but you're not allowed up on the desk. Here, I will. Oh my gosh, this is the tarot reader now. Oh, I'm being a goof. You can really feel this manifestation power happening, because I think the more that you heal yourself, the more that you are healing these parts that are like, yeah, I can be loved, and still be working through a lot of healing, be working through not feeling like a burden. You can still feel like you can actually love and be loved. And I think that's what you've been manifesting for a while. And someone's been just manifesting for you to like really heal, whether they are realizing they're manifesting it or not. In the last few cards we have, hello ma'am, we have the Judgment, Ace of Cups reversed, and Two of Swords. When it comes time to truly feel your fullest potential, do not shy away from how intuitive it feels. I think part of you realizes how big of a moment you're gonna have with somebody, but to not get, not like overzealous, but not get over critical or over judgmental over every little thing about yourself, because I think part of you is somewhat judging yourself and being like, I gotta dot all my I's, cross all my T's, but you're crossing all your I's and dotting your T's every time that you are being a little too hasty. That's where some of the Three of Wands in reverse is kind of like, hold off on this building, this bridge building, until you can be 100% sure that what you're moving through is for you, and what you're healing is actually like feeling like you are going through this process. And it's not like you have to be healed at the end, it's just feeling that everything you're going through is just a process. The Judgment card is like, yeah, the gig is up on how you feel about yourself. I think you're just tired of feeling a certain way, and now you have super, super enlightening like messages and paths laid out in front of you that I think you just can't ignore anymore. And I implore you to not ignore it, but intuitively check in on it. Intuitively check in on what actually fits in your intuitive sort of sense. The Two of Swords gives me this energy of, you know the answer, and you need to not be shy about the answer, because the answer is very clear, that you need to open up your heart a little bit to yourself in order to feel a little less burdened by your own weight. And I'm going to read the Flower of Life card. Language of silence, language of light. This pattern, called the Flower of Life, is one of the most universal pieces of sacred geometry available to us. This figure is found flash burned into granite on walls of the Osirian, the Temple of Resurrection in Abydos, Egypt. I could be mispronouncing that. This also is found in more than 18 countries around the globe, from Turkey to Tibet, from China to the Yucatan. The Flower of Life has imprinted its wisdom upon humankind. It represents latence. Why am I forgetting that word? A latence of pure life force, containing our cellular memory, and it becomes the matrix of all matter. You are asked to imagine this pattern existing as a three-dimensional holographic image made up of 19 interlocking spheres. So all of the circles you see are just spheres. Different levels of the sphere. You may even wish to draw this beautiful shape using a compass. One radius creates this amazing glyph. First draw a circle, and add a second using any point on the circumference of the first as a center. Continue drawing circles using each intersection as a center until you create a figure that looks like the one on the card. The Flower of Life is an Akashic information system, meaning it contains records of all that was, all that is, and all that will be. The message it offers are both intimately personal and universal. Open your awareness to the knowledge contained herein and listen to the responses you receive. Trust that what comes to you is of the light and meant to be of assistance in achieving your highest good. As the blueprint for all creation, the Flower of Life will always have something new to teach you, and there is no reverse aspect of this card. This is just a true interconnected knowing for you. You feel like you know yourself more than you could ever imagine, and I don't want you to take any bit of that for granted. Sorry, the camera was freaking out. Sometimes it does that. I need to get a new one, by the way. So, I am going to leave you with that as the message. And I want to thank you so much for just having the grace to give yourself this time for listening to something that is so core to your heart, that you believe such in depths in your core that I think you just really needed to hear it from someone other than yourself. And I'm grateful to provide that message because I know someone is grateful to get the chance to really love you and adventure with you. And that is all I have for you. Thank you for watching all of this. And if you watched all three, that is cool too. Um, Whatever reading resonated for you, I implore you to just take time and take a moment of breath for yourself. If you want a personal reading, I do have personal readings available on my website. Just check that link down in the description below and see all of the different content that I do, because I don't just do tarot, but I've been really falling in love with the idea of pick a card readings and maybe even just some collective readings here and there. We'll see. Thank you for letting me read your cards. Thank you for watching. And as always, I will see you all in the next one. Bye.